everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Today, uh, I was thinking about talking about sin a little bit. Um, I hope y'all like the videos and share them out real good. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Um, all the comments in the uh, community is really great. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And if y'all don't mind to comment about your feelings on sin, I would greatly appreciate that. Um, my thoughts are sin is sin. I know there's the Ten Commandments, and them ones we're to honor completely. And, I don't know if there's ever a time that's acceptable to break the Ten Commandments. Some of them I can't see where there'd ever be a time where it'd be acceptable, but that's just my opinion. But from day to day, I do sin sometimes, and when I sin and I ask for forgiveness, I also pray to God and apologize for my sin. Um, and I do my best not to commit that sin again. Um, Sometimes we're in such a habit of committing certain sins that I think we don't even realize sometimes that we're doing it, or we get comfortable in it. And I know that there are some sins I do um, often, even though I try not to. Sometimes my mind, it just doesn't grasp that right now I'm in this frame of mind. I've got to be careful not to do this thing, and not not committing sins intentionally is really important to do, because then when you do commit them sins, God realizes or knows, I think, that it wasn't something you intended to do. Uh, I know when I do sin, sorry about my hair, it's just got some kind of colic thing that's always there. Anyway, I know sometimes when I do um, certain things, it's just kind of a knee jerk reaction that I've carried over from the years that I did it when I wasn't concerned about honoring God, you know, being faithful to God's laws and what He's let us know that are right and wrong. And when I do these things that I know I shouldn't be doing, and I'm not doing them on purpose, I try to always catch myself first. But if that don't happen, asking for forgiveness is huge. When we ask for forgiveness, they're gone. As soon as we ask, they're forgiven and they're gone. But that doesn't mean, to me, it doesn't mean that I can keep doing these sins over and over and over again, knowing all I got to do is ask for forgiveness. And the thing I feel about sins is not only do we need to ask for forgiveness, but we also need to recognize what we did and what was going on when we did it, and try and keep ourselves from that happening again. When I sin, you know, I um, I try and ask God to help me to keep from doing these sins again, And when I keep God in the forefront of my mind, and I keep a good relationship with Him by praying to Him and talking to Him and communicating with Him, them sins seem to be so far back in my mind that I don't do them, or not near as often. And when I start straying from God, which I do, I'm just a person, and when I stray from God, I notice sometimes some of these sins I ask His help to stay away from and not do, um, start coming up where I'm doing them more often, and they get progressively worse until I get back on track again. And I don't know, I just kind of like to know if you guys go through that same struggle. I really want to be faithful to God, and live without sinning, but because I'm not Jesus Christ, you know, I'm just a person that's telling you what's going on in my mind, what my thoughts and opinions are, and because that's all I am, is just a person. I won't be able to live life without sin. I can feel sorry for my sins. I can do my best not to commit them sins again. But to actually not sin, that is something I don't know that I'll ever get to that point because, like I say, I'm just human. I'm just a person. And people sin. It's what we do once we do sin that matters, I think. Um, not maybe like more even than the sin itself, because if we just blow it off like, oh, it was just a little sin, no big deal, or oh well, that's sin I'll never have to deal with again, it's just brush it under the rug. I don't think those things work like that. I don't think it's something that I can just ask for forgiveness every time I do it, so I'm just going to do it whenever I want to. I don't believe it works like that. And so I feel like when I sin, I try not to do it anymore. I work hard. I ask for forgiveness. I apologize. I ask for strength and courage, and to keep it where um, where I don't do that sin or those sins, anymore. And it's it can be difficult when we have a habit of some sort that is something God would not want us to take part in. I have had some bad habits in the past, but with God's grace, I have been able to not necessarily overcome, but not fall victim to them habits anymore. And I don't even know if victims is the right word, because it's by my choice what I did in the past. So, I have that same choice not to do it now, and I choose not to do um, the bad habits that I had. I choose not to do them now. But it is with the grace of God that I have the ability to make that choice and to stand by that choice. And so, them are sins, that I've asked forgiveness, I've asked for help, I've asked to, have the strength and conviction, to follow through and not doing these sins anymore, not committing those sins, just to be able to keep them in the past and know they're gone, they're forgiven. And I don't do them anymore. Not that I couldn't at some time go astray from God's love and God's help keeping me on the right path, but that I am choosing to not go astray and to work hard at keeping a relationship with God and not sinning and accepting any help that He can give me or that He will give me, because He can give me all the help I need, but that what He has given me, what He's offering me, to walk away from all the things in the past that I have done before, that I have sinned before, and stay on a path where I follow what He wants. I follow, um, I follow His word as best as I can and as best as I know of it and understand of it. Uh, I I don't want to be a sinner who just don't care. I want to be in God's army, knowing that God is helping me to do right the best I can do and make the choices that God would want me to make the best I can. And along the way, there's always going to be something that trips you up. And every time we get tripped up and we sin, that's the devil. And if he gets you to sin once, he's going to be right there to keep on attacking you, to keep you sinning and pull you away from God, where you can get forgiveness from Jesus Christ and uh, pray to God that you're sorry. If He can keep you distracted with one sin after the other, and start them sins out in a way that maybe you don't even realize, till He loads you up with stuff you're so happy about and forget that they're sins. God, He will keep strong and He will keep you away from that sin. But if the devil tempts you and you fall for it, you step over that line and say, okay, devil, here we go. With all these things he flashes in your eyes, and, he shows you that, oh, wouldn't you like this? And you may never know it's him doing it. He may come at you in a way with something so deceiving that you never even realize it's something that he's using to lull you away from God and put you in a position where you're sinning, constantly sinning or sinning, just a little bit or whatever. He'll work it into everything he can to keep you away from God. And I do my best not to let things that look shiny and new um, lure me away from God. It may look nice, it may look tempting, but if I know that God is up there saying, please don't do that, you have a choice, I hope you choose not to, then I'm going to do my best to choose not to, if I know that's where I should be going with it, to stay close to God, to do what God would want me to do. And if that shiny new object does get me, as soon as I realize it was the devil's way of putting me in a situation to sin or choose to sin, um, as soon as I realize it, I like to think that, I'm asking Jesus for forgiveness and asking, telling God, let Him know I'm sorry, and do my best not to let that same shiny object ever bother me again, or any other shiny object if I can see through the devil's temptation using it. And sin, I mean, he can get you with just a little bitty bitty of sin and coax you into some big time uh, situations where you just totally forgot about God and letting God help you to get through without getting tangled up in the devil's web of sins and everything. He will help you. Ask him for help to avoid sins. If you know there's one in particular, ask him for help for that particular sin. Pray to him, talk to him, do whatever it takes. I do that sometimes 2 and 3 and 4 times a day. Please God, don't let me do this, or please God, take these thoughts away from me, or please God, don't let me cuss no more. It to me, I'm gonna do my best not to sin, but I'm only a person. I'm gonna do my best not to let the devil tempt me into even one sin, because I know that the devil is slick, and I know that if he tempts me with just one thing, it could be the downfall that I slide into just a bad way to go. And I'm going to do my best to choose not to take that route, to do my best not to sin. And when I do sin and I recognize it, I'm going to do my best to ask for forgiveness and to apologize for God for not doing, for doing something against what he says is right or wrong. And I'm just, I just think sin is something we all do. We just do it. We're human, and it's up to us what we do when we sin. Do we ask for forgiveness? Do we apologize to God? Do we do our best never to do it again? Do we ask God for help to stay away from doing that sin again? That's whatever we choose to do. However we choose to handle sin, you know, that's something we'll all be accountable for someday. Anyway, thanks for watching this out. I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind to share it, that would be really great. Y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.